You think you bought a family minivan. Something safe, something reliable, something that just takes your kids to school and handles long road trips. But what if I told you? The 2026 Toyota Sienna is doing a lot more than driving, and most owners will never even notice it. Because deep inside this vehicle, there is a system that quietly observes, records, and maps behavior in ways Toyota doesn't really advertise in bold letters. Not because it's illegal, but because it changes how people feel about owning the car. And that's the part they don't highlight. You're not just stepping into a minivan anymore. You're stepping into a connected digital machine on wheels. Now here's the reality shift most people miss. You don't fully own a modern vehicle like the 2026 Sienna in the traditional sense. You own access to it. Because inside that dashboard, inside that infotainment system, inside the connected services, there's a constant exchange of data, location data, driving patterns, brake behavior, acceleration habits, even how often you travel and when. And all of it gets processed through systems designed for convenience and safety. That's the official story. But let's escalate this. The problem isn't one single tracking feature. It's the combination of many small ones working together. GPS navigation doesn't just guide you. It logs where you go. Driver assistance systems don't just help you park. They learn how you drive. Voice commands don't just respond. They process audio patterns to improve recognition systems. Individually, none of this feels dangerous. Together, it creates a digital profile of your driving life. And that profile doesn't stay inside the car forever. It moves. It syncs. It gets stored. And this is where the uncomfortable question starts forming. Who actually benefits from this level of detail? Toyota says it's for safety improvements. Insurance companies see risk modeling opportunities. Software partners see behavioral data. And the driver? The driver just sees a smoother touchscreen and better navigation. But underneath that convenience is a system that knows more about your driving habits than you realize. Now let's push this further. Imagine this scenario. A driver takes the 2026 Sienna daily. School runs, grocery store, work commute. The car learns the exact routine. It knows departure times. It knows frequent stops. It even adapts route suggestions based on behavior patterns. One day, the driver takes a different route. Nothing dramatic. Just a small change. But the system notices, because it always notices. This is the breaking point most people don't think about. It's not that the vehicle is spying in a movie sense. It's that it is constantly learning in the background. And learning systems don't forget. Now let's talk about the real villain in this story. It's not just Toyota. It's the entire modern automotive industry. Because the business model has shifted. Cars are no longer just sold once. They are updated, connected, serviced digitally, and improved through data feedback loops, which means the more you drive, the more valuable your data becomes. That's the part nobody puts in commercials. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. The 2026 Sienna is part of a larger ecosystem of connected Toyota vehicles. That means data doesn't exist in isolation. It contributes to a wider network of traffic intelligence, safety algorithms, and predictive systems. Sounds helpful, right? And it is, until you ask one question. At what point does helpful become intrusive? Because the line is thinner than most people realize. Now let's break the tension with truth. There is no evidence that the Sienna is secretly watching people in a malicious way. But there is absolutely a reality where modern vehicles are data-generating machines first, and mechanical machines second. And that shift is what creates discomfort. Because older cars were simple. You drove them. They didn't learn you. They didn't sync you. They didn't store your behavior profile in cloud systems. Now here's the solution most people never hear clearly. It's called the Data Awareness Mode. Not an official Toyota feature name, but a mindset. Step 1. Go through your vehicle settings and disable non-essential connected services when not needed. Step 2. Limit app integrations unless you actively use them. Step 3. Turn off location sharing where possible without breaking core navigation. Step 4. Understand what features actually require data and what don't. This isn't about fear. It's about control. Because awareness is the only real ownership left in a connected vehicle world. And smart owners are starting to realize something important. You don't have to disconnect everything, but you should know what's connected. Now here's the identity shift. Old drivers used to ask, "How powerful is my engine?" Modern drivers should ask, "What data is my car collecting while I drive?" That one question changes everything. Because once you see the system, you can't unsee it. And Toyota isn't the only company doing this. They're just part of a much bigger transformation happening across the entire auto industry. A shift where cars are no longer just machines. They are platforms, and platforms run on data. Now the question becomes uncomfortable again. If your car knows you this well, who else could that information eventually reach? And that's where the real conversation begins, because the 2026 Sienna is not an exception. It's a preview, and what comes next in the automotive world will make today's systems look simple. But most drivers won't notice the shift until they're already inside it.